There's some pilots who are household names and others who probably should be. And I feel like Chuck Coleman kind of fits in that second category. He was a very accomplished aviator who unfortunately lost his life out here in Las Cruces this last weekend. Many may not have known his name. I actually had never heard of him until I came out to the air show here this weekend. Now, Chuck was a very accomplished flyer. He had trained all the main pilots for Top Gun Maverick. He did some flying, some test flying with the Icon A5. He flew the Virgin Atlantic Global Flyer, a bunch of work for Bede Jets from the Bede Corporation, and even the Blue Angels, etc. So he was a very, very accomplished pilot, and as far as I can tell, a very well-respected pilot in the industry. So it comes as a big shock to everybody that he would pass away in an airshow accident like this, something that you just kind of don't expect. In this video here, I've got some footage from the accident itself. I showed you some at the beginning of the video. There is some more shocking video. I'm probably going to skip the one that the news put out because it doesn't show anything except for the impact to the ground, which doesn't really add anything. But I do have footage of the entire airshow act, and I have my own footage from the airshow act from the day before, and I'm going to synchronize those two videos together, and we can compare what happened on Saturday versus what happened tragically on Sunday. When going through this footage and synchronizing the clips that are from the internet versus my footage from the day before, it's remarkable how well they sync up. And part of that is because these airshow acts, they're not ad-libbing. It feels like they're ad-libbing when you watch them, but they're performing the same act over and over and over again. And because they're performing for different groups every single time, it feels like a fresh new show, but for them, it's a well-practiced, well-rehearsed, choreographed air show. So when I'm able to synchronize the two, everything pretty much matches up, like beat for beat. There's a little bit of timing difference, but when he does a roll to the left in one, he does a roll to the left in the other. So we get a pretty good idea of what was trying to be what he was trying to make happen versus what actually happened. So let's roll this here. This is just the last maneuver of the day, the ultimately the fatal maneuver. My footage from Saturday is on the left, and the footage from the internet from I believe the Las Cruces Bulletin is on the right-hand side. So let's take a look at this final maneuver here. Now you see he comes down from his previous maneuver, pulls up, and then does two aileron rolls to the left here, and then does a forward push, kind of a forward tumble maneuver. Does two of those, and then the one on the left keeps tumbling, but the one on the right, it kind of comes back around, and then he's basically facing straight at the ground, just way too low to pull back. So let's take one more look at this in halftime. Let us slow it down and get a better idea of what's going on here. Coming down off the previous maneuver, up into the double aileron roll to the left, and then the forward push, the tumble, the forward tumble maneuver. And here's our first one. Then our second one. And the one on the right, you'll see it stops and then he comes back around, whereas the one on the left, it keeps going. And you look right here at the end, it almost looks like there's an accelerated stall, likely from him pulling back, just desperately trying to pull out of that at the last second. Now, it's too early to speculate on what the cause was. The NTSB has gone out and collected the aircraft. They're going to do a full analysis of that and release those findings within the first 30 days. It's a preliminary where they just go through some of the real basic details. Was the engine working correctly? Was all the control surfaces working correctly? Did anything bind up? If he had a video camera recording him while it was happening, these types of things. So there'll be a lot more information here within the next 30 days. But that's all the footage I've got for you today. That's my footage from Saturday and some footage from the internet on Sunday. There was one more video out there, but all it really does is show the impact to the ground, and I don't feel that really adds anything to the discussion or any interest on why exactly it happened. Doesn't add anything to aviation safety. So with that, thanks for watching, and maybe we'll talk about this again in another 30 days.